So what if your friends ask you to be the cantor at Tenebrae because you, of course, you have cool friends? Well, if you've done it before, then you're probably fine. If you haven't done it before, you got to learn it. Well, it's a lot of material. Okay, so how do you do it? Well, you do it and you enjoy it because it's hard work and therefore it's fun. And it's a lot of fun, especially if you have friends who want to do it with you. And if they ask you, you definitely have to say yes because things like this only come sometimes. So, what is there to do? Well, you pick up a book. Maybe you have a Liber Usualis like this or something else. And you just sing it. And it's going to be a lot of singing. This will be a series in 3+1 parts on how to sing the antiphons and responsories and the other stuff at Tenebrae. The +1 will be the variations among editions and other cool tones and ideas, some thoughts. For right now, I'm going to stick to as it's in the Liber Usualis, which is probably the book that most people will have, I guess. It is not my favorite book. There are many, many problems with it. But it is what everyone has, so it is what everyone has. Well, all right. So, aside from lighting some candles, turning the lights off, and getting someone to put out the candles one by one after each of the psalms, and on the even verses of the Benedictus at the end, what do you got to do? Well, you got to sing a long time. And it's great. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and sing through all the stuff, more or less, right now. No cuts, just keep going. If I make a mistake, I'm sorry, I'll try to note it. If I don't note it, well, if I made an error, you will know, maybe. And we'll just go on. All right. So, it begins without a Domine labia mea perius, begins without a Deus nauditorio meum intende. It goes straight into the first psalm. And the antiphon is... Zelus domus tuae comedit me, et opprobria exprobantium tibi cegiterunt super me. Salvum me fac Deus, quoniam intraverunt aqueusque ad animam meam. And so tone 8C for a very long time. And then, next one. Avertantur et rorsum et erubescant, qui cogitant mihi mala. Deus in adiutorium meum intende, Domine adjuvandum me festina, and so on. Then, Deus meus herripe me de manu peccatoris. In te Domine speravi non confundat in aeternum. In justitia tua libera me et herripe me. So the psalms of the first nocturne are all tone 8C. How fun. Then you get the versicle in the tone that you want to use, which is Avertantur et rorsum et erubescant, which is lovely. Then you have the famous, wonderful tone for the Lamentations of Jeremiah, which begins Incipit lamentatio Jeremiae prophete, Aleph. Quomodos erit sola civitas plena populo, facta est quasi vidua domina gentium, princeps provinciarum facta est sub tributo. And so on down the alphabet. The first responsory. In monte Oliveti oravitar patrem versi fieri potest, transeat a me calixis te, Spiritus quidem promptus est, caro autem infirma, vigilate et orate, ut non intretis in tentationem. Spiritus quidem, and so on, until the verse. The next responsory is, Tristis est anima mea, usque ad mortem. Sustinete hic vigilate mecum, nunc videbitis turbam, quae circumdabit me, vos fugam capietis, et ego vadam, immolari probis. Ecce approbinquatora, et filius hominis radetur in manus peccatorum. Vos fugam capietis, and so on. Then, Ecce vidimus eum, non habentem speciem, neque decorem, aspectus eius in eo non est. Hic peccata nostra portavit, et pro nobis dolet, ipse autem vulneratus est, propter iniquitates nostras, cuius livore sanati sumus. Vere languore mores nostros ipse tulit, et dolores nostros ipse portavit. Cuius. Wherever cuius is. Oh yeah, just the line above. It's good to go through and mark where that asterisk is, because otherwise you're searching through it in the middle of the dark and bad things happen. Anyway, then you go from cuius to the verse, and then you go back to the beginning of the responsory and sing the whole responsory again up to the verse. So that's Ecce vidimus until propter iniquitatis nostras. Because that's how you do responsories during Passiontide, because there's no Gloria Patri at the end of the last responsory of the nocturne. There's no Gloria Patri in a lot of places. Good. And then, without complaining, without taking a drink, without having some kind of bothersome event, you go right into the next nocturne. And this is why it's important to do it with friends, because inevitably, especially on the first one, whether it's in Wednesday night on Thursday morning, this is the one that inevitably you will hate all your friends. This is why you have to be friends, because otherwise you don't take it lightheartedly, and bad things happen, and you must take it with an open heart. Otherwise, what's the point? Next one. Liberavit Dominus pauperem potente, et in nobem cui non erat adiutor. Deus judicium tuum regida, et justitiam tuam filio regis. Next one. Cogitaverunt impii, et locuti sunt nequitiam, iniquitatem in excelso locuti sunt. Quam bonus Israel Deus, his qui recto sunt corde, and so on. Then, Exsurge Domine, et judica causam meam, ut qui Deus repulis in finem, iratus est furor tuus super oves pascuae tuae. Next versicle like the last ones, and then some responsories about Judas. Amicus meus, osculi me tradidit signo, quem osculatus fuero, ipse est teneteum. Hoc malum fecit signium, qui per osculum ad implevit homicidium. Infelix pretermisit pretium sanguinis, et in fine laqueos suspendit. Bonum erat ei, si natus non puisset homo ille, infelix pretermi, and so on. It's good to have some throat problems if you think singing about Judas, right? Funny. Not funny. Judas mercator pessimus, osculo petit dominum, ileutanius innocens, non negavit Deus culum, denariorum numero, Christum Iudeis tradidit, melius ilierat, si natus non fuiset, denariorum, and so on. Next responsory. Unus ex discipulis meis tradet me hodie, veili perquem tradarego, melius ilierat, si natus non fuiset, quintingit mecum manum in paropside, hic me traditurus est in manus peccatorum, melius ilierat, and then up to the verse, and then from unus up to non fuiset, because it's time to go into the third nocturne. Dixit iniquis nolite loqui adversus Deum iniquitatem, confitebimur tibi Deus, confitebimur et invocabimus nomen tuum. Then Terra tremuit et quia vitum exsurgeret in judicio Deus, notus in Judea Deus, in Israel manium nomen eius. Next antiphon. In die tribulationis me, Deum exquisivi manibus meis, Voce mea Dominum clamavi, voce mea Deum et intendit mihi. And then so on. And the rest of those things. And the lector does the reading in the usual tone. All right. Responsory 7. Eram quasi agnus innocens nuctus humani molandum et nesciebam consilium fecerunt inimici mei adversum medicentes venite mitamus linium in panem eius et erradamus eum de terra vivensium omnes inimici mei adversum me cogitaverunt mala mihi verbum iniquum mandaverunt adversum medicentes venite mitamus linium in panem, and so on. Then una hora non potuistis vigilare mecum, qui exhortabam ini mori pro me, veliudam non videtis, quomodo non dormit, sed fecinant tradere meiudeis, qui dormitis surgitet orate, ne intretis in tentationem, veliudam non videtis, and so on. Then finally, the last responsory of Holy Thursday. Seniores populi concilium fecere nobis et fustibus exierunt, tamquam ad latronem. Collegerunt pontifices et Pharisei concilium, ut Iesum dolo tenerent, and so on, and then repeating from Senioris to tamquam ad latronem. And then Lauds begins immediately, just like the last two nocturnes, just keep going on. Justificeris Domine in sermonibus tuis, et vincas cum judicaris. Miserere mei Deus, secundum magna misericordiam tuam. Next. Dominus, tamquam ovis ad victimam ductus est, et non aperuit ossum. Domine refugium factus est nobis, a generatione in generationem. Then, contritum est cor meum in medio mei, contremuerunt omnia ossa mea. Dixi in justus ut delinquat in semet ipso, non est timor Dei ante oculos eius. Keep going. Exhortatus es in virtute tua, et in refectione sancta tua, Domine. Cantemus Domino glorios et magnificatus est, ecum et ascensorem Dei ecit in mare. Which should be very familiar to you if you've been singing lauds all Lent. And then, Oblatus est quia ipse voluit, et peccata nostra ipse portavit. Laudate Dominum quoniam bonus et salmus, Deo nostro sit iucunda decoraque laudatio. So, tone 2, I'm sorry, I forgot about this. Yeah, so in the Libro Sualis, it's stupid tone 2. There should really be a pedatus at the end. Work it out in your own choir. I really should be saving this for the last one, but I just can't help it. It just... tone 2. There's a pedatus. Anyway, so we get the little versicle again, and then we go directly into the first of the Benedictus antiphons. All three Benedictus antiphons are going to be in the same tone, so if you have the Benedictus written out in music, you don't have to worry about the solemn inflection of the text. You just only have to have one version of it. All 3 days is the same tune. Traditor autem, dedite signum dicens, quem osculatus fuero ipse est, teneteum. Benedictus Dominus Deus Israel, quia visitavit et fecit redemptionem plebis suae, in the solemn inflection of the first hemistic. All right. And then finally you get to the big reveal. Today is the short one. Christus factus est pro nobis, obediens usque ad mortem. And that's it. And then you have some quiet, and someone, whoever is in charge, I guess, sings very softly, very low, the oration Respice, and in the special way that it is given for the Triduum. Well, that's how you do the Tenebrae of Holy Thursday. Then go out, get a coffee, decompress a little bit, and think, yes, that's what physical prayer really is. So this video is, what, half an hour long? Okay. I didn't do any of the Psalms. You put in all the Psalms, you put in all the readings, you put in all the repeats of the responsories I didn't do, you're looking at a good 2 hours if you're taking it at a reasonable clip, which you should, because otherwise it will take all day or night and into the next day, who knows. Well, if you can do it, and you should, you will be a very, very good person indeed, because hard things are what give us the measure of someone's character, right? Like fire tests gold, so do trials test men. So says Seneca. Strong men, not weak. You have to be strong to do this kind of thing. Well, and I hope you do. Okay, in the next one, we'll go through the Tenebrae of Good Friday. Pax.